So after finishing my degree, I went to America to do my postdoctoral fellow in Oregon, Beaverton, in a place of environmental science, where I was dealing with microbes and toxic chemicals like dioxins. And while doing that, I also dealt with natural systems like lignin and things like that. What I'm trying to communicate is I did hell a lot of so-called frontier science in biological systems. While I went there, just first day, as you go into a corporate world, they wanted me to get a medical certificate. So you are fit to, just a formality, like this, when I come in, you have a formality. So I went to the hospital and I was waiting in the reception. Then I see a small girl of 6-year-old, this is 1986, I believe, or 85 or 86, I don't remember exactly, 86. 6-year-old girl looking into space, not able to meet the eye-to-eye contact, was missing. So I just sat there and looked around, and her mother walked by. So being what I am, I generally don't keep quiet. I just want to converse with people. I'm a very talkative guy. So I was actually trying to talk to the baby, what is your name and things like that. And she didn't respond. So a mother came all at her, your baby doesn't speak to. What do you want? She said. I said, what's the problem with the baby? She looks beautiful. Yeah, she's been menstruating and the bleeding has not stopped for the last 3 weeks. So I was shocked because where I came from, the ladies used to menstruate at the age of 14. That's what, because just before I left India, I had a case. By the time I left, I was also studying homeopathy. When I started doing my PhD, I chanced upon a medical system called homeopathy, where they declare there is no molecule in the medicinal system. So I was shocked because being a scientist, I just entered Indian Institute of Science with a lot of merit and things like that. So I said, this homeopathy is bullshit, what nonsense these people are talking. So I just walked into the homeopathy store and carried a medicine and said, I will take this and then see if something happens. So I started experimenting upon my body about homeopathy being bogus and things like that. And then this background experiments I was doing, slowly I was finding the truth of homeopathy. So that was also going on background. So by the time I finished my PhD, I was also a practicing homeopathy doctor. Just then I had cured my friend's wife who had a big uterus fibroid, and they said it is cancerous. They said they have to operate and remove it. But then I told them, if you eat certain food and then if you take this medicine, it will dissolve. No one believed. I was a young boy of 22, 23. And then they said, they laughed at me. But then anyway, he was my friend and it was his wife. I forced them. And then after 6 months, that uterus fibroid was not there and she was okay. So they were all surprised, what is this, what's going on? And that was my experience, and I just left to America because I had to go PDF, and I was from a poor family. I wanted to go to America and make some money. I studied under the street lights when I was growing up. So nothing else was in my mind at that time. I just went, and then this small girl comes up and says she's bleeding, and I was shocked. What happened? I mean, there's some screw up in the hormones. I mean, that was very obvious because I just did my stupid PhD on steroids. So go there, and then this girl comes up. I was shocked. How come on this planet a girl 6 years old menstruates? And it should happen at the age of 14, as far as I know, because I just did my PhD and I wrote a lot of theses and big blah, blah, blah. Here come, all at a sudden. And then I went into the doctor's office and I said, Doctor, what is this girl? I said, hey, you have come from, we don't know. He just shrugged his shoulders like typical American way. Just go and mind your business. That's what he meant. So, but that was not possible. I couldn't sleep for the next 3-4 days. And as usual, I was investigating, and then within 2 days I recognized that whole America was drinking milk that was not natural, and they were already producing in so-called biotechnology, IVF. IVF, you're aware of, I think now many women are going for IVF. It was the case for cows in 1980s. Now every woman is going through IVF almost now. 38% people are going to IVF because they cannot have proper sex and they cannot produce babies. And that's what I mean. It's the extension of this is the first statement of mine when I came and started my talk. So IVF is in vitro fertilization because naturally the fertilization cannot take place. So what these guys do is they inject different kinds of hormones. Again, some of them are being steroids, estrogen and other things. And initially they have growth hormones like oxytocin. And so they change the metabolism so that the cow that produces 1 liter or 1.5 liter milk when it gives birth, now it can give 15 liters or 20 liters of milk. So when it gives 20 liters of milk, what do? These so-called hormones also pass through the system and you have some residues left in the milk. So these guys, for building an economic model, they make more milk, but then they're feeding their babies with this milk for the last 10 years, changed the hormonal balance of the girls. First it is felt in girls, but then slowly it will be felt in boys. And that is the reason why now men have no sperm count. Many of tech guys, especially software engineers, have now got less than 20 million of their sperms, which should be around 100 million to 150 million. All these stories have happened in America long ago. We are just repeating after 20 years, as simple as that. So now what happened there, in 1986, I recognized that these guys, because of this milk, the ladies in America, same problem, work pressure, they started leaving their kids in nurseries. And then this milk, bottles and nipples, all rubber and polymers entered into their lives. And they started giving the milk to the babies at the age of 3 weeks, 4 weeks onwards. They started feeding this extra milk instead of mother's milk. The dance of the steroids slowly changed, and the girls started, instead of menstruating at the age of 14, it became 12, it became 10. In a 15 years gap, many girls in America started menstruating at the age of 8, 9. And when I went, that girl was a rare specimen who started at the age of 6. But then now, the average menstruating period in America is settled around 6.5 to 7. Now in India, it is around 9.5. Because we followed the same model, we imported all these cows and this IVF technology and started producing the same milk, and same stories repeated. Now all the world, the so-called scientific books have written milk, complete food. Who wrote this? The scientists who are promoting milk as babies. Oh, why babies? Everyone should drink because calcium is there in milk. So when I tell stop milk, the next question immediately all over the world, wherever I give lectures, what about calcium? That's what question is bothering in everyone's mind. As if calcium is available only in this milk, nowhere else. In fact, sesame seed has got 10 times more calcium than milk that you are all thinking. And so far, everyone has been drinking milk in tons of it. As if it is not enough, we are eating paneer, which is concentrated milk, and still people have calcium problems because everyone has osteoporosis, rheumatism, calcium tablets, calcium supplements. So people say, oh, we have so many supplements, so your calcium. When you are drinking coffee, tea, milk, ice cream, everything, calcium-rich foods, why is calcium less in your body? No one asked this question. What does that mean? You are not absorbing the calcium. So supplements and these artificial things cannot make your body absorb because body is designed to do things differently. It is designed to absorb from the food, not from your tablets and from artificial food processed items. So fortification became the science. And fortified milk, fortified food, fortified five, fortified. That's absolute sheer nonsense. It's a business model. It's not the biological model. Because they want to sell their product. They want to sell their steroids. They want to sell their technology. You have IVF, you have this centers. And to the extent that it is science, so milk, complete food, is advertised. In the textbooks, in the TVs, in the news media, everything is controlled by these companies. In America, if you go and say, we are selling hormone-free milk, you will be put in jail. This is an incident that has happened. 8 years jail term is given to a person who said he is selling hormone-free milk. He didn't even sell, he just wrote a sentence.